Hey guys, welcome back to Psychic Celluloid Signals and happy Friday the 13th. We are actually doing something we're really excited about. We've never been to this before, but it is the 4th Upstate New York Horror Film Festival. We're really excited to see what is here, and it's actually a 3-day event. It's today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And we're going to be here for just about all of it.
Yep.
We're going to miss a little bit of it because we're going to the Little Theater tomorrow night to see Halloween, and PJ Souls is going to be there. We're really excited for that. But I'll stop rambling. Glenn, why don't you tell them what we're going to see tonight?
Well, excuse me. We are going to see Block 1, The Forces of Horror Anthology. I can't pronounce this one.
Which one's that? Mariposas?
Yes, I think so.
Maybe Spanish, I don't know.
Yep. Sorry if we mispronounced that. Spirit Stone.
What is that? Totenance?
Yeah, something.
Perhaps?
Again, we apologize.
Sounds interesting, even though, sorry, we're butchering the names.
The Mountain King, The Keys, Pax Masculina, I think. The Family Way, Den in the Water, A Scream Trapped Inside, and Gnawbone. And then we're seeing Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th.
Part 1. And tell them a little bit about what else we're going to see.
Friday the 13th Part 3 documentary, never before seen footage, followed by the original, which you just mentioned. And a music video sent to us from the original Jason Voorhees.
So we're really stoked to see all that. We'll tell you guys what we think, what our reactions are today. Hopefully, I'm going to try to get these up as soon as I possibly can because we're doing 3 days of it, and we're also going to the Little this weekend. So it's going to be really packed. I hope you guys are as thrilled as we are, and we're really excited to kind of virtually take you guys along with us to this. So we'll let you know what we think. Hey guys, we are back, and fuck, we are tired, man.
Damn, Jerry.
Excuse the language, but shoot. Yeah, we were the last standing, I guess.
Basically, literally.
Yeah, it was basically just us and the people running the show. But we got to see a screening of Friday the 13th.
Which was awesome.
It's so fun. And before that, we got to, which we should talk about a little bit, we got to see a premiere of a documentary, Friday the 13th Part 3.
Memoriam.
Yes. That was very interesting. I wasn't aware that that kind of barn thing that they shot in was burned down. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a house.
Yeah, it was the set.
Yeah.
The house set thing.
I didn't know that either.
But yeah, I guess it was probably some of you guys know that or are familiar with the set of Friday the 13th Part 3. And then it was kind of like a tourist destination almost for Friday the 13th buffs to go check out, and a bunch of dumbass teenagers burned it down.
One of which was a Friday the 13th fan.
Yes, of course. So that's wonderful. Now we can't go see it. And we learned that. We're so happy.
Yeah.
But the documentary itself was really cool.
It was.
And
we saw it 10 minutes before anyone else did.
Yes. Yeah, I guess what was it? He said they're playing it in LA as well, but they were only able to start it 10 minutes after we got to start it. So So you heard it here first.
Yes.
Literally. Well, we saw it here first. I don't
Yeah.
know. You might have heard it first somewhere else because it's gonna take a few hours to get out. But you heard it here one of the first. Yeah. At any rate, there's some other interesting stuff in there. Just some other stuff that made me pissed off, like the fact that the mask, the hockey mask, was left like in direct sunlight for years and just got destroyed, and the guy who owned it just trashed it. Just, yeah. But there's good stuff too. They're talking about the actor whose name slips my mind, who played Jason
in the third film.
A lot of people who worked on the film were talking about him, and he sounds like he's a really interesting character.
Yeah.
Just in personality wise, like he worked in, what was it?
The trapeze artist.
Yeah.
He was having an affair, I think, with the ringmaster's wife or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is why he booked it and went and tried his hand at in the movie world.
Yeah, he's this like big old British guy.
Yep. Smoked a pipe.
Yeah. They showed some like images of him with the full like Jason face on, smoking a pipe. Just no big deal. But yeah, that was a really cool thing that we got to see today. We saw Friday the 13th.
And all those films we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which were great, but there are so many at once.
Yeah.
That we're just kind of in a daze. It's whoa.
Yeah, we actually even we were talking to a gentleman who we met when we got there originally. We were just trying to figure out where the screenings were going to happen, because they were holding this in like this like
senior living home.
Yeah, senior living home. So we're getting assistance from some of the seniors, which was pretty dope.
Yep.
And we found our way to the screening areas, and we met this gentleman who actually has a couple films that are one of them has been screened, maybe both of them.
He gave us this.
Yeah, he gave us that. He gave us this.
Yep.
This Blu-rays. He just handed us free Blu-rays of his short films, which is pretty incredible. And as we were like talking with him and a couple other people that were at the event, one of his films in the room that we went into was actually like playing, and by the time we got in there it was halfway through. But the half that we saw we really did like.
Yes.
Looks really interesting, so we're really looking forward to watching these, and we told them we're gonna definitely get a review out on those.
Definitely.
Looks very interesting. So it looks like he has an eye for like detail, and just like the film itself looked very well shot.
Yes.
But we saw so many little shorts.
Yeah. We were talking about in the car once we got back and had time to like organize our thoughts more, because when we saw them originally, it was back to back, one to the other, almost seamlessly melding into each other.
And some of them, like, you get like the title right before it. Other ones, the title would be like
you weren't
right
sure
with the credits.
when one started sometimes and the other began. There's a lot of interesting things. Our brains are fried. I know mine isn't. My brain's barely working. But suffice to say, there were some things that definitely piqued our interest, and some work by some films there were some films that we saw that we'd like to see again, or maybe see developed more.
We'll talk about a few of them. just to throw a few just impressions and kind of the variety of things out there. One that we talked about, I think one of the first things we talked about when we were discussing what we just saw was a film called, I believe it was called Mariposas. It is a foreign film. It was Spanish language. I'm not sure what country it was from, but that was very interesting.
You're talking about
the one with the butterflies.
that was my favorite.
That one was very short. It was one of the shortest ones we saw.
Yes.
And
I think it was based off a short story, I want to say.
might have been. I believe that, but it was one of the shortest ones we saw. But it was one of the best at like developing a character, and like you knew these two characters, especially one of them, the kind of like snobbier one. You knew him with a few sentences that he said, and then by the end, when we find out what's happening, you're like, it gave you his character, paid off in like 2 minutes. It was incredible.
It packs a punch.
Yeah, the only thing that we had to say against it was that it used really like cheap CGI, I guess you could say, but is probably shot on practically no budget. And that when I know film is shot on like no budget, I give them a pass and stuff like that. It's the things that I look at.
I think it was that bad.
I thought it wasn't great, but I give them a pass on stuff like that, because when I look at a film that's like shot on very little to no budget, what I'm mainly looking for is like how it was written, how it was directed, things like that. And I guess too, like I was telling Glenn, like I could probably come up with a way to gather up a bunch of real butterflies and release them.
Real monarchs.
Yeah, I think I could probably get that to come together, and probably for not a terrible lot of money. But that also, like, our viewers don't know, but when I was a kid, I was really obsessed with bugs. So I know that if you were to arrange something like that, it'd probably depend on the season. So I don't know if they had seasonal restraints because they probably had to shoot the film in a short amount of time. But at any rate, that was really interesting. Another film we found interesting.
The shark cultists.
Yes, there was this one, and it felt. Tell me if you felt the same way, but it felt that it had influence from like The Wicker Man.
Yeah, it definitely did. It had a very folk horror vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting one, in the sense that you felt like it was they took a feature and they took all these different elements from it, the key elements, the key points in the film, and they threw them together into a short film.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. It was disjointed, but it was interesting. I would have liked to see. It threw me off a little, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was like it felt like there were chunks missing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we'd see this one segment of the short, and then we get to another segment, and it felt like something happened in between, because there's like a character that's like now dead or something, and we're like, what? But when did that happen? But nevertheless, it was very interesting. We feel like it either is a concept for a larger thing, or maybe even was like a larger film, but was cut down to be like a short film.
Either way, I think.
Either way,
we'd like to. It'd be a cool feature.
Yeah,
to see it as a feature.
Let's see what else. What else was there that we saw that was interesting?
Well, we saw this one where, and this was I felt another one of the strongest shorts we saw.
You have this young guy who is a realtor, and he has to sell this apartment. He has to. He has no other choice. He has to sell this apartment to this woman named Al. and it gets weird.
Yeah.
It gets weird, and it gets a little bit gory and gruesome and creepy, and it was fun. It definitely had its flaws. Like a lot of the things we saw, there were things that maybe, given budget restraints, could have weren't executed as well, or but overall it was quite solid.
Yeah, I felt there were some little points, like we felt one thing in particular we both agreed that was like in the dialogue felt clunky. There were little things here and there that felt a little bit like maybe there was something.
Cookies.
Yeah.
If you see the short film, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that confused us a little bit, threw us a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not even confused us so much as it just kind of threw us a little bit out of the zone of the film. But really, like minor issues in the grand scheme of the film, which was interesting, and it developed the characters, I felt, really well, and at the end, like, you've kind of gotten these characters developed, and the end kind of pulls some things out, like it changes the scenario, and you're like, oh wow, that's what's happening. And a little interesting thing that happened after we saw the screening, we walked out into the little like lobby area, and the two actor and actress that were in the film, and I think they also directed it, were standing out there, and I was like, oh
yeah,
that kind of I was like,
the movie came to life.
Yeah, it was weird. Cause it's weird too, cause like tomorrow we're going to see a screening of Halloween, and we're gonna see PJ Souls, who was in Halloween, but the film came out decades ago, so she looks different than she did in the film. Not like completely different person, but she looks like
she's not the swinging
she doesn't look
28, 29-year-old that
she doesn't look like a teenager as she was portraying in these like that in Rock and Roll High School. Totally.
No offense, PJ.
Yeah.
We love you.
You look you still look good.
Yes.
But you don't look like a teenager, which is okay. We're looking forward to not looking like teenagers.
Yes. we are very much so. We're already, as you can see, we're already starting to.
Yes. But at any rate, after seeing this film, like these actors are approximately the same age as they were in the film. Mm-hmm. They look approximately the same. Yep. So we walked out and we saw them, was like, whoa, this is weird. Don't usually see that. I don't think I've ever been to a film and then saw the people in the film and was like, oh,
yeah,
those are the same exact people. So that was interesting. That was one interesting little tidbit from going to a film festival. Go do it up, guys.
Yeah,
it can be interesting and trippy in that way.
Definitely that. Yeah, there are quite a few other things we saw. We saw this one film made probably like the 90s, which had a lot of had a lot of parallels to Friday the 13th, as well as I'm blanking on the names of the films. I think we've mentioned Rawhead Rex.
Oh, you're talking the feature?
Yeah, the feature.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was definitely one we said afterward that we'd watch again.
I think one of the things we thoroughly enjoyed about this was that it had a lot of like hard rock and like punk rock and all sorts of different like heavy metal influences in it. And
the person who wrote it was hypothesized. Well, he obviously knew his stuff, so we're guessing he was like us and into that kind of music. Yeah, those characters.
The characters were like, they were decently, like developed and portrayed for what we were seeing. Like, I think I said other than the shrink, which was very, we'll talk about him in a second. He was a very confusing character, but The only other character that really like his characterization kind of like felt like it fluctuated throughout the film was the protagonist's best friend and roommate. Because at times he seemed like really concerned with this guy getting over his like traumatization in his youth, and at other times it was like he seemed not as
Didn't give a
concerned. Yeah. So that wasn't dramatic either, but there were just some scenes that were like, that doesn't feel like it quite fits his character.
Yeah.
But the shrink.
The shrink was
What the
one.
hell?
He was their age, obviously.
Yeah.
He was obviously their age.
Which is
And they gave him
it was
old man
weird,
glasses
but
to
yes.
like make him look older.
It was weird, but that's like another thing. I think I give that a pass.
Yeah,
Just because
that
like
was the
budget.
weirdest. That was the weirdest thing. Like, I don't even know if we should give away the weirdest thing about the shrink.
Let's just say he does a lot of things that really, really breach like doctor-patient confidentiality.
Especially one big thing.
And just ethics in general of being a shrink. Very illegal things.
Yeah.
And we were like, this guy's such a... And I was waiting for an explanation to why he was doing these things. 'Cause it almost seemed like we were going to get one. It almost seemed like his motives were nefarious and that he was like doing this stuff because maybe he gets his kicks from watching his patients like crack or something like that. But we never got it. We won't explain why either because that was a very cool part of the film actually.
Yeah,
Um,
it was awesome.
But,
Which brings us to the creature. It was a creature feature,
Yes.
and it's a little hokey, but that's a creature feature staple.
Yes.
You know, with a lot of creature features.
Yeah.
So that was fine. We mentioned Rawhead Rex. He looked, in my mind, a little similar to Rawhead Rex.
Yes.
As well as one other creature who I'm blanking on. If you've seen the documentary, I think it's called Blood, Boobs, and Beasts. It was about this filmmaker who also, I think it's the same guy, he had a FX magazine for independent filmmakers at one point, and he made a film with a creature that looks similar to this. I could be wrong. I could be getting things mixed up. I'm barely coherent right now. But,
Yeah.
but yeah. That.
Yeah. The creature was awesome. And another thing that I really appreciated about this one is that there was no CGI. Oh, I loved that. There was just... And sometimes the practical stuff was really clearly just like latex and whatever. But it was lovely nonetheless. Because really, even the like cheap latexy kind of looking things look more real to me than really good CGI.
Definitely. They're more tactile.
Yeah. It feels like it was in the scene too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's some nice gore for fans of that. Yeah. Just interesting creature.
There was a guy who warned them not to go to the woods.
Yeah, there was a Friday the 13th-esque you're doomed. You're all doomed kind of guy, but like they even upped the like hillbilly kind of crazy guy thing. Yeah, this film probably, I don't know if anyone would I'd probably have to say it, but then it would spoil it, but there was a kind of horror trope that was broken in this film, which I liked because it's a horror trope that I don't really like, and I don't know if it came about just because or if
it was intentional.
Yeah, but there's a
cool,
horror trope nevertheless that's
nevertheless.
broken in this, and that was cool. So yeah, that's what we saw. Oh yeah, the other we also both liked that that short with the woman and
Her
her
who cheated on her boyfriend, husband, partner.
Yeah.
Unclear exactly.
It's actually like you don't really know. Like I wasn't sure if, for instance, if this film was kind of like haunted type thing going on, or you don't really know what's going on, but it's still almost like makes sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It was very dreamy, very art house, gorgeously shot.
Yeah.
Acting was, choice of clothing at times was.
So the wardrobe design was, part of it was very silly.
Yeah.
The partner shows up in a few scenes and he's wearing like a drug rug, hoodie up and everything. And I'm like, this is a little weird, especially given
It didn't fit.
her wardrobe, for instance, was a lot more like, it looked, I don't know, just like
Fitting.
more like, I don't know, like classy, I guess maybe I'd say, or something like
But yeah, he
that.
tells her to put on the green dress.
Yeah, like she's getting all looking nice and stuff, and meanwhile he's like chilling out in his drug rug, and I'm like, this is weird, but I think that was one of the like big things that
Yeah. Other than that, it
threw
was,
us, and that wasn't a big thing at all.
No.
Like, that's just a little oddity. But that was a really fun one. And again, all these things that we saw, we read off in that little beginning part. If you're curious about any of the things that we mentioned, we can try and figure out what was what name
Yeah, we can
goes
do
to
that.
what. So definitely let us know in the comments below if you're curious about any of that. Might take us a couple days to like figure all that out, because we're gonna be really swamped in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Checking out all these videos. Tomorrow is gonna be a full day. We're going to the film festival starting bright and early tomorrow morning, and we're gonna go there as long as we can, and then we're going to the Little Theater to see Halloween with Q&A with PJ Souls.
Oh yeah.
That'll be awesome. We're really stoked. We're
We are.
yes. We're gonna do full day on Sunday as well, and that'll be awesome.
And then we're gonna sleep for a month.
Yeah. We're getting tired. Like one of the guy who's like I believe running the festival, he's like, yeah, I've been up for like 20 hours. I'm like, I was just like, I feel like this is the next couple days. What
It's
he said is gonna be our next couple days.
It's gonna be crazy. But you know, we're horror fans.
We are very excited for it.
Yes, we're horror fans. We're dedicated horror fans. We'll deprive ourselves of sleep and necessary things like that in order to see horror movies.
Yes. And we hope we're
dedicated.
Getting all of the our observations and such to you guys in a way that you enjoy and understand. Hopefully we're coherent, especially if we're not coherent today, we're probably gonna be like,
He's coherent, but he had a drink. He had a nice stiff drink.
yeah, no.
I don't drink, so
Yeah. But yeah. By Sunday, I don't know if we'll be coherent at all.
I don't think it'll just be gibberish.
No, yeah. We'll just be babbling in front of the screen. So I hope you liked this one. We'll finish the video there, but I'll just show you guys a few things that we got, like just freebie things that we got. We're excited. All the like movies and stuff that we get over the next couple days, we're gonna review all that.
Yes.
On top of other things that we still need to review. We've got still the things that we've won that we need to review, and we're definitely going to do that along with these. So I'll just show you. We got this, which we're really excited about. And then these from the man we were talking to before seeing all these films, as well as this, which intrigues me. I think he said that this was playing in the other room.
Yeah.
Or at least he believes it was. And I'm really interested. I'll have to see if I can find this one, because that sounds really interesting. And then we got a soundtrack as well for this film, which will be cool to hear. I'm assuming that getting a soundtrack probably means that it'll have a pretty cool soundtrack.
Yes.
So we look forward to checking all that out, and I'll probably insert some other images of other freebie things that we've gotten just to show you a little
Got a
bit
lot of freebies.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So
Gotta love freebies.
So Upstate New York Horror Film Festival Day 1. Checked it out. This is the 4th year they've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We highly recommend it. There were not very many people here, but it was a shame because it was very interesting. I think most of our fans would be.
I think most of you guys would like the
Yeah.
stuff they're showing.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be more people tomorrow. You know, but at least you were saying it was kind of cool. You know, it would have been nice to have more people, definitely, especially for them. But
Yeah, it felt like we were on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Of this, which
felt
is
very
cool.
secret, very kind of like, what's the word? You know,
underground kind of.
yeah, like
Yeah.
private screening.
Yeah. Even though it was straight up entirely public and anyone could go if you bought a ticket. Yeah, if you're in the Rochester area, either in the next couple of days, because you can get a ticket in the next couple of days if you wanted to go to a screening, or if you're in the Rochester area next year, I'm sure they'll be putting it on next year. Definitely check out the Upstate New York Horror Film Festival. And with that, I'll say, keep it psychic, keep it real.
Get some sleep.